Hello again. If anybody decides to join again for this second half of setting up Winter Soldier here. Internet, what is your deal right now? So laggy. I'm gonna be doing the this guy should be all. This first one should be all set from earlier. So if you're curious, if you're just tuning in or you're watching this on YouTube or something and you're curious what's going on with this, go ahead and watch the other video. But this arm should be all done and all set. So, no, here you don't want to do it. There you go. Good job. So I'm gonna unwrap this guy and get ready to do the second half of putting flanges in this chrome-plated Winter Soldier arm. So I'm going to pull all the masking and tape and everything off of the forearm piece, which is this guy. Oh, thanks for stopping in for a bit. Just getting ready to do the second one here. I don't have to wear the respirator just yet because it's not horribly stinky right now. Oh, awesome. So I'm a huge fan of the fiberglass magnet thing. My friend Steve, another Steve, of Janus Concepts, actually, he actually just put out a book on life casting on, you can get on his website, little $5 ebook on life casting the human head. Pretty solid book. I've read it. Read an early version of it anyway. He just put that out, but he was the one who told me about doing these, the fiberglass flanges, which is just, I love doing this. It works so well and is so convenient for, so many things. I do my Star-Lord helmets exactly this way. He first got it from a friend who worked on Thor. All of Thor's bracers in the movie are done exactly like this. That's why they look seamless. But yeah, first time I tried it, it's like, this is amazing. It works so well. And as long as you get the magnets sort of seated properly to start, you get this really awesomely satisfying like click noise. Yeah, exactly. Jinx. So I'm gonna try and get this guy apart and see if it worked the way that I'm hoping it did. So it seems like it should be pretty hard. So sometimes polyester resin will like stop being sticky, but still be just a little soft. So I'm not 100% positive that this is all the way hard, since this stuff's peeling off pretty easy. But I'm pretty sure that it would because it's just kind of thin. Also was on top of the wax, which tends to make it a little bit softer. Just something I found from experience. I'm not sure if there's a chemical reason for that. But currently there's obviously like nothing holding this in place besides the fiberglass behind it. So you can see that once I get all this sort of extra resin off of here, it should be a little easier to pop it loose. But all this extra stuff is what the other reason for holding it all in place. As earlier, I held it all together in place with a blue masking tape. And that's part of the reason, because I always end up with this little bit extra that bleeds through. And with such a big gap, I know there was going to be a lot. And it doesn't stick to the blue tape, which is nice. So doing this with the X-Acto, you got to be real careful, because the X-Acto will scratch the chrome. Fortunately, I'm in this seam here, so none of this would show up particularly well if I do scratch it. But YouTube seems to be really glitchy tonight on my music in the background. It's kind of annoying. Hopefully you guys don't care. But it's just like lagging like crazy right now. As long as it doesn't affect the video, I guess. I think it's just my crummy tablet that's running the music. Does not have the world's strongest Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, the very first Winter Soldier arm I made, which wasn't chrome plated, it was just painted resin. But that one, if you actually go on Facebook, I think I have a video of it on Facebook. If you go to the store listing for Winter Soldier, I have a link to it on YouTube. Oh, it's in my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/SoloRoboto, there's a video in there of the first guy, Wes, the editor, wearing the first Winter Soldier arm that I made. And he starts with it chunked or locked in place. And all he has to do is straighten his arm and it'll pop loose, move, and he just kind of, when I ran into him after his first day of wearing it at WonderCon, he'd been in for like 8 hours, and he had gotten pretty good at just this sort of like weird little shoulder shrug, and it would just pop back in place and go back to being seamless. And because he never had to do it, he had a giant rifle in his hand, on the other hand, so he had to do it one-handed, and he got really good at it. So yeah, the magnets are enough to do that. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of poking. There we go. Gotta be real careful with this, because again, it will stick. Like, if you've done a good job with the wax, this will all come loose. Even if you haven't, it will eventually come loose. It's just how much other stuff will take with it. There we go. Oop, here, magnet. Ah, just one of these magnets. Where's this? That one. Yeah. So there we go. There's you can see all the magnets thoroughly embedded in my flange here. So I will trim this way short to like just past the magnets, and you can kind of see here where I got it to lay real flat. You don't see the fiberglass; it's nice and smooth, which is nice. It means I won't have to finish much up. I will go back and I will cut this off with a Dremel. Ooh, there's my other magnet. I need that guy, which means he goes. Where do you go? Ah. Oh. Guess I got them in the wrong spot, but they're all magnets. They'll all match up. So all my magnets are still on the inside, which is great. I have my flange here. This is nice. This is real sturdy. That worked out well. I haven't gotten it quite so clean before, which is nice, but that'll just pop right back in. I've got a little bit of cleanup to do before it wants to lay totally smooth. Oops, heard another magnet again. I'm probably going to keep grabbing these magnets until they're connected to something. Yeah, I've got a little extra flashing, not flashing, but like sort of bleed through from the resin that leaked out. But once I get all this cleaned up, again, most of it just kind of pops off because the resin itself is not super sturdy. But once I get all this extra cleaned up, there we go. Voila! That's how that works. So you can slide that on pretty easy. I don't actually want to slide this one in here right now because the edges are kind of stabby and it'll be real itchy. But once I cut this smaller, you would just basically get your arm out of the way, like, you know, push it up against yourself, drop it in there, and well, you're all closed up. Cool. So this guy is set. I can set this aside because I don't need this right now. Although I'm going to do one thing here. Nah, I was debating drawing where it sits, but it's going to change. So there's no reason to mark it down. So I can set this out of the way. Don't need that guy. And this guy should be pretty much good to go. I'm going to put, just to be safe, I'm going to put down a little more wax in these corners just in case I don't want to accidentally stick to anything. What is... I'm getting this like really bad lag on my end on the internet down here, for which I apologize. Just annoying to me. I don't know if you guys noticed at all, but yeah, do your thing, YouTube. So I'm gonna put down just a little bit of wax just to be safe. Then I'm gonna throw on the respirator and well, actually no, not the respirator yet. I gotta tape this guy together. Taping the bicep to the forearm is a lot more challenging than the part I did earlier. Oops. Cannot get any wax on that one. So I don't want any wax on the magnets that are going to stay in place, because then they won't stick. I want them to stick. So I'm just doing a little bit of touch up on the wax there, just to be safe again. Again, this is you can use just about any wax. I use Smooth On Sonite wax because I know it's non-reactive, because this is what it's made for. Ah, good, this cup slowly got eaten by my fiberglass earlier as well. Time for new cups. Maybe. Yeah, this one's gonna melt. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of acetone to clean off the magnets that need to stick to the correct side of what I'm doing. I'm just making sure there's no wax on these guys, since I just put wax on them. Don't want to do that. Make sure they're clean. There we go. Should be all that they need. And it's you and you. Cool. All right. This guy should be set to get all put together. I have made molds using urethane resin and glass. I've never done this. Urethane resin tends to generally not be as sticky, and even if I didn't have the chrome here, urethane resin doesn't always stick to itself. Things like onyx resin, which is what these are made out of, is really good at sticking to itself even after even after it's cured. But not always. So that's kind of a risk because urethane resin doesn't always act the way you want, whereas the polyester will always stick to pretty much everything. So, you know, that's a. I mean, you could do it probably. I wouldn't, just because of the that risk. I'm gonna try something here because I think my tablet is just being really stupid. So. We're just gonna try this. Whoa. Cool. See if my phone does any better. My tablet is just bad at Wi-Fi apparently, so. Alright. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely put glass inside urethane resin. I've made molds that way. I used to put fiberglass on all my Dr. Doom masks, although I've realized it's not strictly necessary, so I stopped. You can definitely do it. For stuff like this, I'm not sure it's the smartest way to go. So, just trimming up some of the. You can see on this guy. Flip this camera back here. Oh, I'll flip that back in a second. You can kind of see here. I've ground through nearly all the metal down, at least down to the copper, but back to the resin for the most part. Some of these spots, the plating is kind of peeling up a little, so I'm just slicing off that excess. Because I don't trust the resin to get underneath it. I'd rather have a nice solid bond to something that I know is going to stay here. So we'll just slice that off. Alright, so I gotta tape this guy together. And this one, fortunately, seems to be fitting together really well. So hopefully this goes nicely. This part is often a challenge. And again, I've kind of got a mess of wax on the outside of this, so it might cause me some problems for the tape sticking. Hopefully not too much. But I've grabbed myself a stool to sit on because I just need more accessibility to holding things. This side is also a challenge because of the way all the ridges match up. They're not all even. Many of them are intentionally offset. But I know that done correctly, everything lines up because this was sculpted as one piece and then I cut it in half. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Oh, yeah, this one's fitting together pretty well. It also means I did a good job when I trimmed it, so good job me. Yeah, okay, well that was the easiest winter soldier arm I've ever done for this part. This is usually a lot more work. I've had a couple of these that I've done fairly drastic resizing on, where this part alone took me like 20-30 minutes. So that was great. Now I'm just going to wrap it all in tape to make sure it doesn't move. Because again, I will be manhandling the heck out of this. I have to. Compared to this side, the difficulty of getting resin into the forearm is like super simple. This side's way worse. Some senses anyway. They both, I guess that's not, I guess, totally accurate. They both have things about them that are a pain in the butt. What just came on? Ah, I'm on the phone, so I get a sweet ad. Awesome. So I'll show you guys what I did in a second. Yeah, it's kind of table only works so well. It's flat. I need to support with my legs here for a little bit. That will show you momentarily. In the meantime, listen to this sweet, epic electronica. So unlike the forearm, where earlier I kind of had the option of correcting any sort of misalignment stuff at the end by using some clamps, I can't do that with this guy. Just want to double check some alignment stuff here. But it's clearly not the way this is intended to go, so let's try that smarter. Oh yeah, cool. So that's how that'll look, basically. Flip this camera around again. So that's what that'll look like, minus all the tape. And again, cleaned up, that'll pop right out and in. The first one of these I took to a convention. That was my favorite thing, is people would pick up, like kind of poke at the arm, and while they were holding it, I would either knock one end off or whack that extra piece in. I watched them panic when they thought that they'd just broken something. It's kind of mean, but it's a lot of fun. How's volume on the music for you guys on your end? Too much? Okay. As long as it's okay, let me know. Or, well, let me know either way. As long as it's not too loud. Before we were kind of off and on. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can see this on your side, but the elbow right here sits in just a little bit, because on the outside, I've covered it up obviously, there's this solid, here's my seam, right there. This recess. Oh, cool. Make sure we're on the right audio again. Since I have a tendency to turn on the wrong microphone. Okay, cool. It's recessed just because of how the grooves line up. So unless I leave it really thick, which sometimes I remember to do, I end up with this recessed spot on the inside, which is part of why I do not put fiberglass right on that inside most elbow part. That's partly why it doesn't line up real well, and it just causes a lot of problems. So I am going to wrap this guy in plastic. So again, I can just grab a hold of everything with my sticky fiberglass covered hands and not worry about getting anything on the chrome. Which isn't strictly speaking a problem, I can always clean it up. But I'd rather not clean it up if I don't have to. It's really more that than anything, so. Just gonna totally wrap this guy in plastic this time. I don't know if this is weird, but I always like to, whenever I wrap things in plastic, I always like to make it really tight so that nothing moves while I'm holding it, because that just tends to make me kind of, it makes me more comfortable if things don't shift when I'm holding on to them. I'm always afraid that if it, even though I know it's not going to actually come off, I just feel more comfortable when it doesn't feel like anything is going to move. If that makes any sense. Well, that is not going to stay. Oh, maybe it will. It almost worked. Oh, cool. Glad it's not just me. I never know. Speaking of, there we go. That is definitely more than good enough. Again, all the extra is totally unnecessary, but should make this easier. I believe this is the first time I've actually done this with the forearm missing. This should be much nicer. Alright, I'm going to throw on the respirator, because it's going to get really stinky.
I like the hashtag, Rob. So I should have all of the fiberglass I need cut from earlier. I've got my couple of strips, although I think this, I don't need that right now. I'm going to be using probably just these guys. And then some larger flange over the top. I might want a little bit wider than that, though. That's just a little narrow. So I'm going to cut a couple pieces just a little bit wider to go over. Because again, I can always cut it off after the fact. That'll probably be a little better. Oh, really? Should have cut the whole thing. If I'd done that right, I probably could wrap the whole thing. But that's going to be a pain to try and lay in. So I'll just do it in pieces. It'll be easier. Pour myself a cup. Pour some stinky fiberglass. All right. Have a good night, Rob. Thanks for stopping in. And yeah, this should be up by tomorrow. I'll post the link. Otherwise, you can just check on YouTube and it'll be there. Oops. I need new gloves. That's not helpful. Powdered these. I do not like Costco brand gloves. The mediums are too small and the larges are way too big. And they don't stretch nearly as much as like cheap Harbor Freight ones. So, there we go. Oh, come back, screen. Come back. What are you doing? Tablet. Don't be a butt. There you go. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so I've got resin, and catalyst. Anybody watched me earlier? I use a lot of catalysts. Not always the smartest choice, but I'm impatient with fiberglass. I like it to set up a lot quicker, so I put in a lot more catalyst than recommended. And again, I'm just using cheap 1-inch chip brushes. For stuff like this, I like the little 1-inch ones. For making molds, I like the 2-inch ones, the bigger ones. But for this stuff, much easier this way. Oh, awesome. I always use nitrile gloves. Just because latex interacts with certain silicones. So I tend to just keep nitrile gloves for everything. That seems to be the safest option. I'm usually, like in the Harbor Freight ones, I'm a large. And Costco Kirkland brand, apparently I am nothing. Nothing fits. Oh, that would be awesome. Thanks. Really appreciate it. So here we go. Having this open is going to make this so much easier. Because this elbow part, normally I cannot see at all. And because of the curve of the arm, there's literally a bend where I cannot get a brush backwards into it normally to even lay resin into it at all. So this is going to be really nice. Yeah, like this magnet right here, the one that's right under there, from this angle, it bends back, and I can do almost nothing about it most of the time. So being able to see through the forearm spot is going to be really nice, is what I'm saying. Okay. This side tends to be messier. There's just not much avoiding it. It's just an awkward shape. This is why I use the little pieces for this. As opposed to like the forearm where I could kind of, where I could totally get away with using larger pieces. I just can't really do that on this one. You know what? I think I'm going to try doing this with just the cloth, because the mat is just going to be too much of a pain to get it to lay down well. So, fiberglass cloth, despite not breaking up or anything, is actually a lot more flexible than mat is. Especially if you get the really nice stuff. There's this stuff that I first saw at Frankie Polito's shop called 4x4 satin weave. And it's the same fiberglass cloth comes in different weights, which is just how thick it is. And that stuff is the same thickness as squeaky. Same thickness as this stuff that I'm using right now, but because of the way it's woven, it is super flexible. Nope, lost it. So it lays over like every compound curve you could possibly want. It's really awesome. It's pricier. Not much when you buy it the way Frank does, which is Frank buys an entire roll, which I think is 300 yards. And in the couple of months I've been working with him, we have gone through a roll and a half already. He makes a lot of molds, basically. How is this laying down in there? That's laying down okay, I think. I don't know, this isn't doing any better. Yeah. Like I said, these ones are just really difficult, so there's no real best way to do what I'm trying to do here. The angles are just really frustrating. So I'm gonna go back to the mat, because the cloth is just not laying around the magnets the way I want, which is what I was afraid of. And I really need it to. So I'm just gonna have to drench this with resin to get it to stay down. I don't really want to do. That's just bulk that I don't need. But what I'm going to have to do to get the coverage that I need. I do apologize for the lack of visibility on your end, probably. These angles are just not very user-friendly. Take a little booger. Oops. That's better. This is the easier side over here. Oh, and the resin's starting to set up. That's not good. I've just been putting in way too much catalyst today. I need to calm down. that's going much better. So I can see what I'm doing, and because I have the angle to actually move things the way they should move. Alright. Not going to go quite as crazy this time. I'm usually a large. Large seems to be pretty safe. If they're real stretchy, medium works well. I have long, skinny hands, so I usually have to go large. Have to go large to get fingers that fit. That is the one plus to latex gloves, is they tend to be stretchier. Oh no! Oh, might be the, might have left one of the doors open. So I'm moving my air around. Best way to get smells out is to pull the air as opposed to push it. So that tends to work better. I had it the other way earlier, trying to blow the air out. While we were taking our dinner break. My dinner break. Put catalyst in this yet? I don't think I did. Anybody notice I added catalyst to this one? I'd say I stirred it. So I'm going to go with yes. Yes, I did. Okay. Just in case, put in a couple of drops. A couple of drops will do it. Eventually, I think I did put catalyst in here, so I want to put a bunch more and then have it kick too fast like the last one. That brush is also dead. Alright, that sounds about right. Stirred it, who knows if there's anything in it. Fortunately, like the instructions say you only need a couple of drops for a volume this size. So it just takes a couple hours to cure that way, which is what you're supposed to do, technically. You probably just end up with more strength or something out of it. It tends to be how resins work. Is, you can make them go faster or slower or whatever, it just affects the final properties of it. I'm putting a little extra at each end. It's definitely overlapping, which will very definitely get cut off later, because I mean, it's sticking out past where it will be useful. I would rather have too much again than too little. If I'm sort of putting down extra at the edges, because the edges are the most likely to have problems with durability or breakage, or they're the most likely to be fragile. So, seems smart to put extra down there. And that first layer, apparently I put in a lot of catalyst. The first layer kicked really fast, so it's almost hard inside here. So I'm going to brush on another layer of resin before I lay down more glass, just to make sure it all sticks properly. Oops. Where do we want? That one's still soft. I just discovered by moving it a lot. Okay, let's see if I can get in some nice, smooth layers of glass here. All the way this end.